Welcome to part two. In this case, we're going to just kind of cruise through thinking about the prompt and which pages would be useful and which pages might be less useful. So, prompt Unit Two's essential question is whether or not humans should colonize space. Analyze how the relevant the article "Trip to Mars Could Damage Astronauts' Brains" is to this essential question. Use evidence from the article to support your answer. Let's do it. So, background. So it gives you a little bit of background. I'm not sure if it really helps us to answer this question up here. I'm going to say that's in between. What if we lived on Mars? Definitely seems to mirror the question, should we colonize space? I think that's a pretty direct correlation. I like this one. Maybe that'll be my first body paragraph. Research. Current technology, the journey takes more than 8 months each way. I think that's important context. I'm not sure if it tells us whether or not we should colonize space. Astronauts will get bored. Chronic boredom, scientists say, will provide a better simulation of the stresses to Mars. Well, giving us the details of these simulations makes us think that they might be encouraging it. So I'm going to say I'm not sure what side it's coming down on. Most living things constantly seek out sensory stimulation. Should we colonize space? No, it doesn't seem to be on it. Actually, it's a pretty vivid example of comparing astronauts to animals in a zoo. So we might go back to that. I like that. We don't understand human boredom. That's true, but not relevant to the question of should we colonize space. Here, pursuing that question of how we behave in extreme environments is not really directly related to colonizing space. So here's what astronauts have to do to be ready for it. And the specter of the ghost of chronic boredom. It seems like a powerful way to talk about whether or not we should bother to do it in the first place. A little bit about the possible problems that might pop up. Paragraph 8 is another one that seems millions of miles from home, right? Should we colonize space? Well, if it involves being millions of miles from home, I'm not so sure. Cognitive social scientists are studying the problem, what can happen when people don't focus in extreme environments. Um, the diaries of early polar explorers are full of tales, not especially relevant. Effective way they combat boredom, I like this one, that human beings can kind of push through, so maybe we should colonize space. It seems to be germane to that question. The things that they did, yeah, gives us a nice, clear example. And the closing one is more about the power of boredom than the power of exploration itself. So I'm going to say that's kind of in between. All right, so now we've got to write our prompt. Well, let's first figure out what is the prompt telling us or asking us to do. Well, let's look at the sentence. Analyze how relevant the article "Trip to Mars Could Damage Astronauts' Brains" is to this essential question. So let's write the prompt. All right. Is to the essential question. All right, and then we'll pick this back up in video 3.